Let us spend some time, a quiet time, with today's Gospel from Luke, chapter 11, verses 15 to 26. Literally, Jesus knows human history inside out. He observed people, how they flourished or how they deteriorated and how they struggled. He observed from the inside his own age, the violence brought about by Roman occupation, the tensions of political division, the news of wars and conflicts. So the Gospel depicts a very realistic image of personal and human history. It highlights the fact and the danger that the human soul is prone to illness. We can be possessed by external forces. Our attention to God, our dedication to the community can be evacuated, and there can be a vacuum which wants to be filled up. Evil spirits or alliance of evil spirits. Yesterday on BBC 4 there was a fascinating King drama by William Shakespeare, a film version of it. It was a combination of film and theatre, Henry V. It was very moving to see a king's struggle to keep the integrity of his soul. He engaged with his people on the battlefield before, on the eve of the fight, next day. He saw their sufferings, he remembered his own sufferings and past. The scene of the battle is very realistic. The slowed motions of picture showed the cruelty of how a war was fought. And those of us who were watching it, just as we are listening to the Gospel, we have the same experience. How can we achieve peace? How can we surpass and transcend this darkness in our history? And the end of the play, in the film version, was a good ending. France and England, the two enemies, reconciled through a marriage, through a love marriage. Our saint, whom we commemorate today, Edward the Confessor, lived in a similar age. He was aware of the cruelty of his world, but by imitating Christ, he brought gentleness and order to his realm. And his subjects, particularly those who were low in society, really enjoyed that peace. Let us be reminded, against the background of our present human history, that it is really fragile. And if we let the demon of war out of the bottle, the same happens, sadly, it seems, that the evil spirit comes back, fetches 7 more of his companions, and then occupies the person, and the person ends up by being worse than he was before. The war in ... and the new war in the region and country of ... are just part of this chain, of this expanding war zone. Unexpected thing can happen, unimaginable for us sadly, unimaginable cruelty. So let us turn to our Lord, who offers healing to the soul, who wants us to be recentered again on the love of God and on His light. And when we don't know the solution, when we don't know how to reach reconciliation, how to create peace, just let us rely solely on His will, teaching and guidance.